Hello, ladies. Men not wanting to date single mothers should not be taken as a personal thing, as a personal attack, because it's not so much you, but it's what comes along with a single mother. I know when I break this down a little bit, it's going to feel like a personal attack, but it's not. It's not. It's just an adaptation that women have taken on while they've been in this role as a single mother. And one of those things is the fact that women that are single mothers, they're not used to being submissive, or they don't know how to be submissive. And part of that is because they've been in a role for so long where they're the only authority in the house or in the room. They're used to giving out commands. They're used to providing financially. They're used to having this playing the soft skills, having the nurturing skills, along with carrying somewhat of the male skills, or male abilities. And when it comes to nurturing children, so when a man gets into that environment or into that space, there's usually power struggle. There's usually conflict because they have never had to take the back seat. They have always been the authority. So when a man comes into a space like that, he wants to be the authority. He wants to be, especially if he's an alpha male, he wants to be the final voice, the final word. He doesn't want to be challenged, especially by a female. You guys are our helpmate. So we shouldn't be in a position or situation where we're struggling for leadership or struggling to be in charge. And typically you find that when it comes to single mothers. So naturally, that's a big turnoff for men. We want somebody who's submissive, somebody who's going to listen and allow us to lead. And I know some women say, oh, naturally we want to fall into our feminine, their feminine side. But I think even if a man push you in your feminine energy, you still won't know how to be submissive because you never had to be it before. Most think that they can be it once they find a man that makes them feel safe or provides for them, or a man that they trust. A lot of them say, oh, then I'll be submissive. But if you never had to practice being in that role, or if you've never had experience being in that role, why do you think you can be in that role all of a sudden? That's like me thinking I'm going to be successful at taking the final shot in a basketball game, but I've never been in a position where I had to take the final shot. I've never been in that leadership role. So why do I think I'm going to be a leader out the gate? So as a man, I'm very hesitant when it comes to dating a single mother, because especially if she's been a single mother for years. Before, when she was with a man, either dating or married to him, maybe she was in a submissive role. Maybe she was back in her feminine energy. But after all these years, I don't know if she can become that again. So much has changed. She's been in a leadership role for so many years or so many months that I don't know if she's willing to even give up that control. And a lot of times women don't want to give up that control. They still want to make the decision. So that creates conflict. And I don't want to argue with a woman. I don't want to argue with somebody who is supposed to be taking a back seat to my decisions. You know, so that is one of the things that men run into when we try to date single mothers. Another thing is that there's no spontaneity. You know, I typically, if I do date a single mother, I can't date a single mother that has kids that are like 4 and below, because there's so much responsibility as a mother when they're real young like that. As a mother, you should just be focusing on raising that child and worrying about dating later down the road when that child's older. There's a lot to deal with when a child is super young like that. So usually when I see a woman with a child that's like a newborn or something like that, or like a real infant, That's a red flag for me. That's a no go for me. So I like the little sweet spot. I think the youngest I'll probably do is like, I don't know, 6. The child has a little bit of independency to himself, and you know, I don't have to, I don't know, so focused on her taking care of a baby, like it's just too much. It's too much. So I typically like women, and the older the child, the better. I'm more willing to date a single mother the older the child is. You know, especially like if they're in high school, cool. That kid can stay at home alone. I don't have to worry about her having to find a babysitter or have her having to find family members to watch the child. And that's another thing. Like another thing I look for is, hey, do you have family that lives around you? And the reason I ask that question is because it tells me your support system. It tells me if I plan something with you, I know that you can get somebody to watch your child. It's difficult dating women that don't have a support system because then they have to find a babysitter if they even trust babysitters, because some people don't trust people with their kids. So that makes it even more difficult. So I have to know what your support system looks like. I have to know the age of the child, and I have to know how many children you have. Will you even have time to date? How much energy can you give to dating, especially if I'm intentional with my dating? If I'm in a place of where I'm serious about dating someone, how much time and energy can you give to this to nurture this? You know, so back to spontaneity. So everything when you're dating a single mother, everything has to be almost planned. Like you have to find time on the schedule. You know, I can't pop up with just like a random event for us to go to. Hey, I saw this person is coming to town tomorrow. Hey, you trying to go? I can't do that. I gave her no time to plan. I gave her no time to find a babysitter. I gave her no time to ask a family member if they can watch the kids. So spontaneity is gone, which makes a relationship exciting. That's gone. Everything has to be planned. Everything has to be on a schedule. And I'm the type of person, at least in the beginning, I like a little bit of spontaneity. Even when I'm in a full-fledged relationship, I like spontaneity. It keeps things interesting. I like doing things on the fly and maybe not telling you, hey, get dressed. We're gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna take you somewhere. She may ask, where are you gonna take me? I may, don't worry about it. Just be ready. I can't do that with somebody that has kids. It has to be planned. And I have to tell her where we're going, how long we're gonna be out. So it just makes things difficult. If I have a good night with you, I can't even bring you over. Or I can't even come over because you got to get the kids from the babysitter, or you got to pick the kids up from your mom's house. And as somebody that's trying to date and have a little bit of spontaneity in this relationship, especially in the beginning, it's hard to do with a single mother. So that's another layer of why men somewhat stay away from single mothers. Another thing is that when it comes to authority, punishing kids, financial financial reasons. At some point, maybe not in the beginning, at some point, those kids are going to become a financial responsibility for me. I'm going to have to pay for things pertaining to that kid at some point. Granted, their father may be paying child support, but still, there's going to be things that I have to pay for. If I'm bringing food home, I have to buy everybody food. I can't buy food for myself and my girl and not bring food for the kids. Or when holidays come around, I can't buy gifts just for my girl and not buy gifts for the kids. So they become a financial responsibility at some point. And I'm not sure, as a single man with no kids, I'm not sure that I want to take on the financial responsibility of somebody else's kids. Especially if you have a plethora of kids. If you have 3, 4, 5 kids, like I'm not sure that I want that financial responsibility. So I know most women would be like, "Oh, my kids have a dad. They don't need a father." And it sounds good in the very beginning, but we know if I was to marry you, I know they become part of my responsibility. And can I even punish the kids the way in which I want to punish them? Or do I have to ask you first? So I'll have to carry the financial responsibility of these kids, but I won't be able to punish them in the way that I would punish my own kids. Maybe I want to spank my kids, but I can't spank those kids because they're not my kids. But I do have to still carry on the financial responsibility of those kids. So I see it as if I have to financially take care of these kids, I should be able to punish these kids in the way that I see fit. But that's not how it works when you're dating a single mother with kids that are not yours, that are not your blood. You have to ask her and say she doesn't like punishing in a way of giving whoopings or taking games and things away from them. What if she doesn't punish that way? I have to go by the ways in which she punished the kids because they're not mine. No, no, no. This is it's just it's very unfair. The man's role is very unfair when he jumps in a situation with a woman that has kids. Some men do it. They love it. You know what I mean? They see those kids as their kids. But for me, I want my own blood because I don't want to have to look to you for things that I want to do with the kids or how I want to punish the kids. And I don't want to be taking care of the financial responsibility of another man's kids. Those kids are my blood. So these are the reasons why most men stay away from dating single mothers. We don't want so much of the baggage. And I know the baggage sounds like a harsh term to say, but it is what it is. It's baggage. Some of these kids are from a marriage. I don't want to have to be dealing with your baby father. I have to introduce myself to him. I got to listen to him when it comes to his kids, the kids that I'm also financially responsible for. Say the baby father still got feelings for you. He hating on me. He plotting on me. Like he creating drama and problems between us. I don't want to be dealing with that. As a man, no man wants to deal with that. Some men put up with it because they love you. But most men would rather not put up with that. So before feelings get any more attached, you got to cut that off. Got to leave you alone, little mama. Because I don't want that. I don't want that toxicity a part of my life. I don't want that drama a part of my life. And I don't want to have to take care of kids that I maybe had not even asked for. Maybe I don't want kids, but I want you, but you come along with 3 kids. So that makes me less inclined to want to date. At least mothers, single mothers. So it isn't an attack on you guys. You guys are doing the best you can with the circumstances that you're in. And I understand that. Kudos to you because it's a strong woman to do, to take care of kids in a single parent household, to financially have to take care of these kids by yourself. So I understand the struggle that you guys go through, the struggle that you guys deal with. But I want women to understand where a single man is coming from when he says he doesn't want to date single mothers. It's not so much you, but it's what comes along with dating you. But I thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm going to have more content on the way per usual. I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm out.